You fools! I give you the simplest tasks. I even give you ice cream. And still, you disappoint me.
Hi, this is Ray Edwards from RayEdwards.com, and when I want to have impact, I know there's one guy I can turn to who will inspire me to do that very thing. And you're listening to his show right now, Ken McArthur.
Hi, this is John Lee Dumas from Entrepreneur on Fire, and you're listening to Ken McArthur's The Impact Factor podcast, which means you are prepared to ignite.
Adventure film director Levi Allen grew up in the coastal mountains of British Columbia, where he found his love for telling great stories. In his few short years as a director, he's already created films that have been featured all over the world, but at times it's been a struggle to try and build a career that will support his family.
I'm kind of at an interesting part of my journey right now where people are telling me the work is good, and yet at the same time, this reality that I'm actually having a really rough go of making all the pieces fit together and the business all work, and kind of this process of creating original stories. How can you get funding to do that? How can you sell your art to make a living out of it? All these pieces have actually been really challenging to have them all come together. It's really interesting to have so many people be so incredibly positive about the work that I'm doing, and also really struggling.
Levi decided to enter a contest to compete for over $150,000 in filmmaking gear, and he was up against some pretty stiff competition from directors who were much better funded. With focus and drive, he reached the top 5 finalists and traveled to Las Vegas, where the contest winners would be announced.
First and second were extremely hard to differentiate. So second prize was, for me, was a guy that was exactly what represented the giveaway. Someone I never knew about, something I never really was passionate about, and he changed that game for me completely. And I know a lot of people just going, wow, this guy just blew us out of the water. So Levi, come on up. Congratulations, Levi.
I watched the video of Levi accepting his prize, and disappointment was written all over his face.
It's hard to describe what it felt like, but it was kind of just crushing a little bit. And I want to be careful here. I am so grateful for the entire experience going through creating an entry for this contest. But especially as I've been reflecting across the past couple of days, there's been this kind of disappointment present. And I really wanted to kind of just avoid it and move on, because I like focusing on the positive stuff. But as I kind of reflected on this, I was at first disappointed with myself for how I felt. I was just dude, get over it. It's not that big of a deal. You entered a contest, you got second, you didn't get this grand prize thing that you were hoping for. Just move on. Then I was kind of realizing the reason why I kind of feel that this disappointment in a way that I don't normally experience is because I had put my heart so much behind the work. And you can't really have one without the other. You can't put your heart, put your all into things that you care about and have outcomes that don't create sometimes a certain level of disappointment.
If you try to do something big, you better be prepared to be disappointed. So why would you ever do this kind of thing? Because you have something to say, and you just can't help saying it.
Hey Ken, Shahar Boyayan here. It's not a matter if you should or not, but I think you must. You, more than anybody else, have seen people stop on their tracks and not follow their dreams. Fear really stops people because they don't know what's going to happen next if they go and ask for money, if they go and try to move forward with a project. So by documenting that, you're really going to provide an invaluable experience and data to people.
Shahar immigrated to the U.S. from Brazil, and she's heard more than her fair share of no's.
It doesn't matter if you make a fool of yourself. What you're really doing is showing how it is done, and we get rejected and we get no, and that's okay. And in the process, even when we get the no's, we might find different ways of accomplishing what we are after. So you're really going to impact the lives of many, many people by documenting this, because they will see what you went through, they will see the options that you found in the process, the new ways of getting to the final goal, and that they're going to think, yes, maybe I can fly just like him.
Levi, I feel your pain. And Shahar, I definitely understand what you're saying. And I think Levi would probably agree. We do this because we want to impact people. And that's the big thing that started out this project in the first place. It was a big thing. It was so big that no matter how much I emphasize it, that you make a difference whether you want to or not, I can never get it across to you. And I wanted to get it across to you in a powerful, powerful way that would make you take action and make you do something about it, make you live your life a little bit more intensely, knowing that you impact millions of people just by existing. And you can impact so many more if you use the art, science, and technology that we have. And film was just an extension of that. So many other mediums just can't reach the level of intensity of film. It shows us through the visual tools that we have. It shows us through our ears. It shows us that we have an impact. And so the first project that I started on was the documentary film. And I thought, how hard could it be? Because there are only so many pixels on the screen. And there are only so many minutes in a movie. And I've done things that have lasted more than 90 minutes. I've created information products that lasted hours and hours. I produced hundreds of hours worth of content. And so it's kind of the reverse problem of what we think it might be. It's not how can I create a powerful 90-minute movie or a project like that. It's more about how can I condense everything into what seems like mere seconds in a powerful way that will speak to you, that will show you the essence. Because we have lousy memories. We can't even remember what happened just 2 minutes ago. How do we get those ideas to spread? How do we have a real impact on somebody? Well, we have to move them. We have to impact them at an emotional level. We have to get to their souls and their purpose. And then we have to create a message that's simple enough for them to spread. Because if we don't create a message that's simple to remember and easy to spread, then other people can't share that message with the people around them. So if you want to have a big impact, you have to create something that's going to engage us on all levels, emotionally, physically, mentally, and to express it in a way that is both powerful and simple at the same time. I just want to make whatever time I have left on this earth more positive than negative. That's what I had to talk about. That's the impact factor. So at first I started on the documentary film, and I knew from creating information products and I knew from the launches that I'd done that I needed to have an audience of people that would respond to this message and that would actually do something about this message, who could take it beyond just my own meager life. Because if you want to do something big, you need to have other people help you do that. Filmmaking is a very collaborative kind of a process. It takes a lot of cooperation, and it takes yielding, and it takes a lot of criticism from lots of people. So you better be prepared for disappointment, Levi. Because if you're reaching for something big, success isn't just that long upward slope. It's a series of zigzags that keep going and going and going, and you just don't know when it's going to stop and when things are going to fall. If you listen to some of the greatest film directors and filmmakers that we've ever had, it's a series of impossible tasks. And a lot of times, these amazing people who have accomplished all of these fantastic experiences for us have gone through literal hell to get there in the first place. They're not even sure that they want to ever do it again, even though they've had this amazing success, because it seems so impossible. Filmmaking can take literally years to put a dream into process. It's a unique form in that way. Many other forms, we have to do them quickly. We have to put something out there and we have to get it out now, and there's a deadline. But I deliberately didn't want to set a deadline on this project. I deliberately wanted to create 90 minutes of amazing information that would impact you at a gut level, that would impact you so powerfully that you would actually do something about it, because I really don't care about becoming famous. I don't really care about becoming wealthy. What I care about is being significant in some way, having my life matter in some way, just like you want your life to matter, just like you want to achieve your dreams. It's a long path, and it's filled with lots of disappointment. So Levi, I want to encourage you to keep going. I mean, you're doing all the right things. You talked about your quest and how you wanted to prove that somebody who didn't have all of the assets available to them that some of the big guys had could actually win something, could actually do something. Just think for a minute how many people you've inspired to go out there and try it themselves. And did you make first place? No. But first place really isn't the goal. There's only one first place. But there are thousands or hundreds of thousands or literally millions of people out there that are making small impacts all over the world, and those are the impacts that really matter. The butterfly effect that we talk about, where a butterfly flaps its wings and across the world a hurricane takes place because of just the small motion. It's called chaos theory. And sometimes we think the world is completely chaotic. But what we can have is an intentional impact. We can, on purpose, flap our wings over and over and over again, and think about how the chances increase as you flap your wings towards your own freedom project. You literally can impact millions of people. And that's what I'm hoping to do with this project. So I started with the idea of a simple documentary to teach you how to do these things. And I wanted to figure out how I could learn enough about filmmaking and do it in a way that was quick, because we all have limited time, we all have limited resources. How can I leverage what resources I have and the people I know and the community that I can build in a rapid way to be able to get a simple message of hope out to millions of people instead of just thousands? I'm going to take everything that I learned along the way. I'm going to tap into every resource that I can find, people that I know and people that I don't know. I'm going to try and think strategically about how to leverage time and resources and that community to have a bigger impact faster. After all, that's what I've been teaching all of these years. I've been teaching people how to do things faster, more effectively, so that they can have a bigger impact in a shorter period of time. I'm really happy you're on board for this adventure, and I know there's going to be disappointments along the way. There already have been some, but there have been successes too. Right now, I'm sitting here knowing how far I've gotten from the start of this project, when I was just thinking, maybe I should do a film. Maybe I could create a 90-minute documentary. And now that idea has grown into a 3-film series. We're already well on the way, and there are a lot of things to learn. Since I didn't have any experience in filmmaking, I needed to build community, and I needed to build my expertise. So I did what I usually do, which is delve down into everything that I could possibly learn about filmmaking. I studied the equipment, I took workshops, I watched online videos for constant hours. I joined all of the filmmaking groups that I possibly could. and I eventually took over a filmmaking group so that I could make decisions about who might be able to help me along the way. Quentin Tarantino observed that you don't have to do it all yourself. I can't learn everything there is to know. I can't develop the skills that take a lifetime overnight. I have to involve other people that know more than I do, people who can bring their expertise, people who can bring their resources in. And so I decided that I would take the Impact Manifesto and I would build a short film with a small crew to kind of test the waters, to see what it was really like to make a film. Did I really want to do this in the first place? Then we started gathering people, and we started making the Impact Manifesto, which is our short film based on a work that I did for Seth Godin's project called Change This. So I designed the project to help over 100 nonprofit organizations and individuals that are trying to make the world a better place get funding and awareness for their projects. And I wrote a story that showed how much we impact each other and how the small things really matter, whether we make this choice or that choice, because it's clear to me that we all have a choice to make every second of every day. We choose to breathe in, we choose to breathe out, we choose to take on this task, we choose to focus our time and resources on this pathway. And those choices matter in a huge way. Here's a little preview of how that story begins.
Sometimes it feels like you're running this rat race all alone. Nobody's listening, nobody cares, nobody would even miss you if you were gone. If Francesca hadn't been late for her meeting, if Jack hadn't checked his brakes, if Daniela hadn't worn her favorite outfit, if John's mom hadn't crossed the street, if Francesca hadn't stopped for coffee, if Jack's eyes hadn't been scanning the neighborhood, things would have been different.
So much more coming in the upcoming episodes. How did we finance this movie? How did we pull the cast together? How did the story come together? Just tons and tons of information about how maybe you can pursue your dreams. Yes, there was disappointment. Yes, there are triumphs. I hope you'll be there to share them along the way. Will we pull it all together? The documentary, the short film, the feature film? Only time will tell. Stay tuned. Find out. To subscribe to this podcast, please go to kenmacarthur.com/iTunes. And be sure and leave a review and share it with your friends. It really makes a difference. The latest and greatest is always available at kenmacarthur.com. That's KenMcarthur.com.